this is Garrett with Sunrise Surf Shop. This year we're going to be mixing it up, trying a few different shapes, a few different types of boards than we did last year. And since it's been kind of a slow start wave-wise as far as the surf spin in Northeast Florida, we figured it was a great time to review a small wave board. This is the Spitfire model that is a 5'6", and the standard 5'6" dimensions are 19 3/4, 2 3/8 with a volume of 28.3. Now the Spitfire model, as you can see, has kind of a fuller outline. It's got the wide nose and the wide tail. It has a low entry rocker, so it paddles really well. It catches waves really easily. A lot of the attributes I just mentioned were similar to Firewire's popular model, the Dominator. The main thing that's different between the Spitfire model we're going to be test driving today and the popular Dominator model is what they call a step-down tail rail. They literally take the tail and sort of cut it in half, so it steps down to where the part of the tail that's engaging with your turn and engaging with the water is a lot thinner. Now you might ask what that's going to do. The main thing it's going to do is it's going to make this wide, stubby, small wave board have a little more bite and turn a little bit better and turn a little more like a regular shortboard would. Another feature of the Spitfire model is it has a traditional diamond tail on it, and all of the Spitfire boards come with the 5-fin setup. So that gives you the option as far as whether you want to ride it as a thruster or a quad. This is an early sort of version of Firewire's new Helium construction. Now, there's basically a lot of similarities between their popular FST construction and the Helium construction. The Helium construction does have the parabolic rails, but instead of them being balsa like the FST, it's a mix of balsa and palomia wood. It has a little bit different of a sheet that gets sandwiched onto the board that gives it a quicker sort of flex and response, which makes it a little snappier. So as far as the feel of the Helium construction, you know, I've had quite a few FSTs and all the other types of construction Firewire does. I will say hands down this board feels a lot lighter. You know, they're saying 15% lighter. I'm saying it's definitely a solid 15% lighter. We've got some fun little waves out there. We're gonna head to the pier. There's about a 2-foot little swell coming in, tide's coming in, so we're gonna take out the Spitfire Helium and give it a test drive. There was a fun little wave out at the pier. We got lucky, it's spring break this week, but for some reason the water wasn't too crowded, just a few guys out. Initial reactions from the Spitfire is it's an extremely fast board. I chose to ride the large performers in it so I could stick with a fin that I'm comfortable with, that I know works for me in most boards. But since the waves weren't too big and there wasn't too much wind, the lightness actually was it helped. The board just felt fast and loose and extremely quick as far as turning and how it would maneuver. I will say I'm not used to boards that are 19 3/4 wide, and as you know, if you've watched previous reviews, like I mentioned before, we don't review a lot of the smaller, wider boards, so This board did feel really wide and skatey under my feet. It's not a bad thing, it's just something that you have to get used to if you're not used to it. The quad setup would work good in this board. I'm not a huge quad fan, but I feel like with how wide it is, it would almost be better to have sort of 2 fins on each rail versus the traditional thruster setup. The Spitfire model definitely caught waves very easily. We're still in 3.2 full suits here, even though it was a nice sunny day. The water's still a little chilly. And as far as being on a 5.6, sometimes I'm just concerned that, you know, such a shorter board won't have that paddle power that a lot of the 5.8s and 5.10s I ride do. Really went fast through the flat spots of the waves. I think that's tied into the low entry rocker that this model has. Thank you guys for tuning in to Test Drive. We're excited to kick off season 2 with sort of a different shape than we've been reviewing, and definitely a brand new construction. The Firewire Helium construction will be available soon. We will have it at Sunrise. We will be one of the first shops to get it. As far as any questions or concerns go about today's test drive, feel free to contact us through the questions below, or you can send a direct email to testdrivesunrise@gmail.com. That'll come directly to me and I'll be able to respond as quick as I can. Thank you guys for tuning in to Test Drive. We're happy to kick off another season, and like I said, we're looking forward to sort of reviewing a lot of different shapes and a lot of different boards, and it's going to be an exciting year for us.